We've got plenty of light anyway.
One more time. Come closer, please.
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
Hi everyone, this is Susie. Welcome to my Insight serial interview. Today I'm so honored to invite Tom English to be my interviewee. As we all know, mentoring has become a very heated and hot topic in recent years. So Tom, as a very experienced mentor and public speaker, he will share his insights of mentoring today. I met Tom in Leeds City Toastmasters, and he was really doing a great job as an evaluator and a speaker. So I'm quite excited about today's interview and a little bit nervous. So Tom, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Susie. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Tom English. I am the founder of 3 Stewardships Limited, and I'm a mentor who focuses on self-governance through the principle of stewardship.
You have mentioned the stewardship. So could you please explain what is self-relationship and contribution, these variables?
Okay, so the company that I founded is called 3 Stewardships. So what does that mean? For me, each person has 3 areas of stewardship in their lives. Yep. And the first area is the self. So we have a stewardship, a responsibility to care for ourselves. And that includes well-being, our character, and also our competence as well, the skills that we have. And the second area of stewardship is our relationships of trust that we build in the home, in our communities, and also in the wider world as well. And then the third area of stewardship is the contribution. So what contribution do we make? How do we add value? And again, how does that apply to the home, to our communities, and also to the wider world as well? So the self is very much foundational. Okay. We need to build on a solid foundation and make sure that we have our house in order, that we have things as they should be, so that we are in a position to build strong relationships of trust, and also that we can make a good, strong, valuable contribution as well.
So you established your firm in 2018. What is your determinant moments? Why you decided to start a fresh new life?
It's a good question, and it's quite a long story. There are multiple factors that led me on this path.
Yes.
And one of the most significant of those factors is my own experience as a mentee. When I was at university, I sleepwalked my way into a situation that I didn't really want to be in. But because I got distracted by all the different things that were going on, and being a single person and a student and not having much responsibility, I found myself in a position where I was quite hedonistic, and I pursued pleasure as an end in itself, and it led me to a very dark place. And in helping me to escape from that particular position that I was in, I found a mentor, and that particular mentor had a huge impact on my life, and he empowered me essentially to get out of that state of hedonism and to learn really what it means to care about other people, what stewardship means, which is about caring for others, not just saying it and not just thinking of it as an abstract value, but actually caring for people. Because that's essentially what love is. It's serving people, it's caring for people. It isn't just words.
You mentioned in your sites that you appreciated your mentor's guidance because it really transformed your life.
Yeah.
So helping others may be the main reason for you to start your own business, right? And do you think it's quite popular in UK or in European countries? The mentoring is very popular and common?
Mentoring is interesting because mentoring happens in all sorts of different contexts.
Okay.
So it really depends on where you want to go, what path you want to take, and where you want to end up. Because there are mentors in any context. So there are a lot of career mentors here in the UK. So more senior people in organisations, people who've become CEOs, people who've retired from positions as CEO, who will mentor younger people who are up and coming and who want to one day be the CEO. In my particular case, I'm focusing on sustainable success. I'm focusing on self-governance. So the people who will benefit most from the mentoring that I offer are those who might find that life is their lives are too chaotic, there's a lack of order, they might feel disconnected from their sense of self, their sense of purpose. Or equally, they might just be in a time of significant change. There might be a lot of change going on around them, and they might be feeling a lot of turbulence as a result of that. And the mentoring that I do helps people to get their lives in order. Again, through the 3 stewardships framework, they can get a sense of order in their lives and determine what the situation is in those 3 particular areas, and also what their aspirations are as well. So where am I now, and where do I want to be in the future? And then we can talk about steps to helping them along that path.
I think people will encounter difficulties in life in different stages. So in that circumstance, they would ask for help, and that's a really good way. You mentioned Madagascar for several times in your speeches. Is that a kind of self-mentoring in your life? Do you think you obtained a better self during the volunteering thing?
Yes, I do think so. So I went to Madagascar when I was 19, and it was a service mission with the church that I belong to. So when I was going there, I was teaching people about Jesus Christ. And so there were spiritual, religious lessons, but we did other activities as well, such as building houses for widows and orphans, and we taught English classes to people as well. And it was very much about service. It was very much about helping people, empowering people with new skills.
I think from serving people, like delivering service, we will find a different stage, and we will feel like more calm and stable. So you mentioned self-mentoring, except volunteering, which do we have any other methods to conduct self-mentoring?
Yes, there's a lot of things we can do to, as you put it, self-mentor. I'm a very, very big fan of continuous learning and development, and a lot of that comes from reading books, for instance. So I read certain books to ensure that my mind is focused on certain values that are important to me in terms of the person that I want to be, and the person that I yet want to become as well. And so reading books is really important. I think that's valuable in terms of learning from others who have walked the path that you are on and achieved what you want to achieve as well. And I also think that taking time out to think is really important as well, because reading is really valuable, but I personally think that thinking itself is more valuable. I don't want to establish a false dichotomy between the two, because I think they work extremely well together. But I don't think there's a great deal of value in just reading, for example. If we just speed read our way through the best books on the subjects that we're interested in, then that's not necessarily going to percolate into our hearts and minds. We might pick up some principles and do some things differently as a result, but to really achieve the value of something, we have to take that time out to ponder on what it is that we've read and figure out how we can really ingest those principles into our lives, our habits and our daily practices.
So if you're like in a negative position, you're quite depressed recently, do you have any suggestions for those people, what they can do?
Yeah, so negative emotions to me are like the car engine light that comes on your dashboard, which tells you that something is wrong with the car. I don't like the fact that something is wrong with my car, but if there is something wrong with it, I need to know, because the sooner I know, the sooner I can fix it. And it's not as expensive, and it doesn't take as much time. If I don't know about it, then the problem is prolonged and it becomes more severe. And when we're in those situations, I think it's really, really important that we take a step back and we find a place of sanctuary, a place where we feel safe, a place where we can think, where we can meditate, where we can ponder, and walk our way back from those emotions and really get a good understanding and really have some introspection about what it was that led us to that particular point. How did we get to that particular point of feeling sad, of feeling angry, of feeling stressed, of feeling down, whatever it is. Really give ourselves the time and the space to ponder on that. And a lot of times I find that we can do that on our own. And then sometimes we might have other mentors come in and help us out in terms of things that we can do to avoid that happening again and form new habits. But we need to be kind to ourselves, I think.
Okay. Because I think negative situation happens a lot in our life. But the point is we just need to fix it. If you can do it by yourself, it's okay. But if you cannot, ask for help, right?
Yeah.
So do you think it's possible that people reach a perfect state of life?
I don't think that perfection exists in this life.
Okay.
I think that the best that we can do is to have peace within ourselves. So this is very much going back to the concept of stewardship and self-governance. Self-governance is about looking at what we can control, about what is within our locus of control. And of course that starts with the self, in how we look after ourselves, our own self-care.
Always care for yourself, because yourself is the foundation of all the happiness, right?
Yeah, the self is the foundation. The self is the foundation of success, because success only comes through contribution. So contribution is what we give to others, the value that we give to others.
Okay.
So if we don't have our own house in order, and we are deficient in terms of our well-being, certainly in terms of character, because nobody will trust us if what we do and say aren't congruous between the public and the private. And then also in terms of our competence, if we're not competent in any areas, then what sort of contribution can we make? So it's really, really important that we have that solid foundation of self in those three different areas that we can build on to then make it a valuable contribution that's worthwhile to others.
From Tom's website, he wrote a sentence: "The mentoring had empowered me to reconnect with my inner self, my best self, my values, and to connect with others through love and trust. It empowered me to achieve the success that I was seeking." Seriously, I really hope that everyone can reach a better statement in your life, in reality. So if you're interested in stewardship and public speaking, you can contact Tom, and I will put his site in the description part. So that's all for today. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Susie.
Bye.
Bye.
Shake your hands. Bye. Thank you.